So today we're talking about women's insecurities via Halle Bailey. You know all the stuff is going on between DDG and her, so she just went viral for being with somebody on a boat, having boat pictures, right? Now, while women were all over the internet parading like, "Oh, you go, girl! Yeah, this your get back. Yeah, this your moment." Da 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 da. Blah, fucking blah, fucking blah. Her ass got highlighted. Her ass became the topic of discussion all over Facebook. I can't speak on Threads, I can't speak on Twitter, but all over Facebook. Her ass became a topic. Now, spoiler alert, most of what men are saying is jokes. It can be qualified as air quote body shaming, which only matters when you're shaming a woman's body or making fun of a woman's. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a man being a fat. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a man being short. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a man balding or anything like that. Only matters when you are talking about a woman. And the other end of the comments are women being sensitive about this. So we're going to go through a barrage of comments. So the first comment we're going to read is an individual, a man, saying, "Soiled diaper, ain't it?" Talking about her booty. Somebody, as far as a woman, jumps out the window and tries to disrespect him personally for something he said about Halle. And she says, "What your mom look like?" And to let you know that she wasn't genuinely curious, she put a laughing emoji because she thought that was a good clapback. She thought that was a good joke, but it wasn't. And that's how come it has more likes than laughs, because it's not actually funny. It's very juvenile. It's very elementary. We then go to the next comment, which is a chick actually saying, "I see why she cheated," or why he cheated. You know, another person is a man saying, "I'd beg the internet to delete these." Now, this is where the sensitivity comes in. The top comment says, "She just had a whole baby. Y'all weird." Where y'all both pictures at since y'all talking shit 100? Y'all in the comments trying to be funny, and most of y'all are built like a quarterback from the Miami Dolphins. She doesn't know that a quarterback is fit. Like, the bitch is stupid. We're going to keep going. I can't believe the comments when half of y'all mamas look like Rasputia in a swimsuit. Let's stop there very quickly. Why do women always go to niggas' moms when we talking about what we think of women, how we treat women, etc., all of that shit? What motherfuckers fail to realize is y'all are not our moms. We don't look at y'all as our moms. We don't correlate y'all to our moms. You're nothing like our moms. The biggest disconnect is we don't want to fuck our mom. When we talk about daddy issues and stuff like that with women, we're pointing at psychological shit. We're pointing at psychological shit as far as this is how come you act this way with men. Now, you could say the same thing for mommy issues or whatever, when it comes to a man and even his relationship with his dad, whatever the case may be. But that's not what they are trying to point out. They're not pointing out something psychological. They're pointing out that it's a fucking dumb contrast, a dumb comparison. Who gives a fuck what my mom looks like? I'm not trying to fuck my mom. Not trying to have a baby or a relationship as far as a romantic relationship with my mom. Like, I don't have to vet my mom. My mom is not going to lie to me. My mom is not going to take half of my fucking money after a divorce. Like, it's just the correlation is literally not there, you dumb motherfuckers. My mom gave me birth. You didn't give me birth. And I'm not going to respect you just on the same level as my mom, just because she's a woman and you're a woman. It's really, see, and this is the thing when it comes to this whole trope, as far as like, oh, what about your mom? What about you? It's not logical. This is not an argument based in logic. This is not a stance based in logic. What it's completely emotional. It's completely emotional because there is no solid logic to this point that every woman goes to this stance. There is no solid logic to it. What they are doing is they are contrasting another woman or themselves or just women in general that you are, contemplating having romantic relationships with, just women who could be considered peers or potential mates, right? They're trying to contrast those with your mom to disarm you because you should have the utmost respect and reverence for your mother. But the thing women fail to realize is you're not the nigga's mother. We don't give a fuck that you are a mother. You are not my mother. I don't have to go too much deeper. That shit is flat out fucking stupid. Look, before we move on, I had to throw this in here. I had to come back and throw this in here. Post-production type shit. But listen, where it comes from is the whole, treat people how you want to be treated. The way that it usually works as far as what people do, they'll say, well, what if that was your mom? What if that was it? So you can look through at the situation that you're in and how you're treating somebody or how somebody is being treated through a different lens. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to trigger that empathy in you for you to look at another woman as your mom. In certain situations, that's understandable. You talking to an elder crazy at motherfucking, at Red Lobster or something like that. You should have more respect, blah, blah, blah. But that dumb ass shit is not a one size fits all solution. I can't say, because this is the thing. If we go down this path as far as like Halle Bailey's ass looks bad, and because you feel bad as somebody who is not Halle Bailey, you say, what if that was your mom? The reason that doesn't work the way that it works in the other situation, as far as you talking bad to an old lady at Red Lobster, when it comes to your mom having relations with men and having sex or whatever the case may be, or your dad, whatever, none of that is none of your business. And you don't even want to look at your mom through that fucking scope. And if you are any type of individual with any type of brain, you got to understand that at some point, your mom was just another chick to somebody else. Somebody worth pursuing, somebody worth judging, et cetera, et cetera. It just is what it is. But I'm not unpacking that anymore. Let's get back to the vid. Now we're going to go to this next comment that says, pretty hurts. It's the soul that needs surgery. Her body is fine and normal. Whoever has a problem with her body is suffering from insecurity issues within themselves. That you were looking at right there is textbook projection. I have never seen a better example of projection in my life. That is it right there. Because all of you are coming to her defense against jokes, not serious comments, against jokes. And you were coming with the intent to either hurt these men, berate these men, which this is more personal because you were talking directly to these guys in front of a bunch of other people to where they can see it. As far as Halle, she's a celebrity. So Halle can pick and choose whether she's going to see these comments or not. She's getting commented about every day on every platform, 24/7. There's no way she's going to read all the comments. And this is the thing about fame. That's what comes with fame. Actual celebrity, being on Disney movies. People are going to be talking about you all the time. And guess what? When you pop out, people are going to want autographs. So these comments on the internet, these are not sent directly to her. These are not in her mentions. These are on like complex.com or whatever, whoever this guy's page is, who is a nobody. So it's likely Halle won't see these specific comments. And the intention is not to hurt Halle, right? It's not to berate her. It's not to, do anything on a personal level. But what people do on social media, when you say something general or you say something about a celebrity, they personalize what you were saying. They personalize it. It hurts them personally. So they feel the need to attack back and things of that nature. But let's go back to the intentions and things like that as far as the motive and the projection. They're also trying to defend her. So they're either trying to attack the man who are saying the stuff personally, or they're trying to defend her. And the reason that they are having these reactions, even this woman right here, is because they identify with Halle. It doesn't matter if the chick has a good body. It doesn't matter if the chick has a SpongeBob SquarePants butt. I've seen women of all shapes and sizes upset about this. And there are deeper reasons that we're going to get into later as far as why they're upset. But when you look at this, these women, as far as like some of these women in the comments, they identify with her in some way, shape, or form, whether it is her having a bad built body or them having pregnancy and their body being messed up and them having to fight to get their body back right, and them being sensitive about being body shamed. But what it comes down to ultimately is the insecurity that they have in themselves to where they see this and they get triggered. You as a tall guy, and even me, I'm not even no 6 foot. I'm like 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in that ballpark. So when I see people say stuff about short people or short dudes get made fun, that shit doesn't impact me at all. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. When we get to situations like this where we talk about body shaming, I'm going to use that as a talking point because women love to laugh at short dudes and make jokes about short dudes, right? So I can see that and not get triggered. Let me take it even further. I'm not about to get on this internet and cap, man. I got a bad hairline, bro. My hairline is receding type shit, right? I'm 37. So it is what it is. When people make fun of Tory Lane's hairline, like, I don't feel some type of way. I don't like feel the need to lash out at people talking about Tory Lane's hairline or anybody else's hairline or receding hairlines or bald dudes. Like, and it comes back down to that, you know, the video I made about women not being funny. Somebody made a good point in the comments. Men have the ability to self-deprecate. Women don't. So with that, I can definitely take a joke about myself and my hairline, right? When you look at this right here, Hit Dogs Holler. They are so upset because they identify with this in some way, shape, or form. It really taps into that insecurity that they have about their body, but we're going to get into that later. Let's just move on. All right, so just so you know, the guy with her is a random, like nobody knows who he is. But there were rumors that when she went on her last vacation, like last month, that she was messing around with Brent Faiyaz. Go and look him up if you don't know who he is, R&B singer. But we get to this post right here. You got India Love, who is messing with DDG. Now, she is on the right. She is a legendary internet hoe. Like, that's just what it is. I can't say it like she date ball players and rappers. Like, she's a textbook industry, internet, Instagram booty model hoe. But the thing about her is she is bad. I'm not about to sit here and hate on how she look, bro. She bad. She bad. It just is what it is. So you see that round fucking, that shit is there. It's all there. Now, it's surgery, more than likely, because I done seen her before body. She was a small little thing, real petite. But it's all there. It's BBL, whatever. Certain fucking shots, whatever it is. Then you got the butt on the left, which is Halle Bailey. The post says, I ain't saying DDG right, but he damn sure ain't wrong. Now look at this absolute fucking Harry Potter novel of a book that this chick wrote. Look at that shit. How fucking emotional do you gotta be to see two butts and then go in the comments and write all that bullshit that I'm not gonna read? It's no way I'm gonna sit here and read. I'm telling you, I put this shit on the screen. I didn't read more than one fucking sentence. I don't even think I finished the first sentence, bro. Like, I'm gonna put this out, and it could really have the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech in the middle, and I wouldn't fucking know. But you're gonna see it, and you could pause and read it if you want to. We're gonna go through some other shares of this post, shares the chicks did. So it says one got a BBL 3 times with lipo, and the other had a baby enjoying her natural body. What are we talking about? The next comment says, I'm getting sick of people comparing them. Halle has a natural body and had a baby. Please normalize natural bodies. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. And the last comment is, y'all disgust me. Always coming from women's bodies after they give birth, like your mammy. Want to stop right there. It's like all women come equipped with the same playbook. And my brother, listen, if you learn the playbook and you work on being immune to certain things that they do, and you work on certain strategies that, bruh, you'll be golden, because it really don't change, bruh. It really don't change. It'd be like a whole different bitch with the same set of fucking just all the plays, got the same playbook. But anyways, let's go back to it. So, always coming for women's bodies after they give birth, like your mammy, ain't have to accept her body when she had you. Y'all so used to surgery bodies that anything natural is weird to y'all. But just to highlight the hypocrisy, this is another viral post that is going viral in the same week, 5 days ago. So it says, I literally hate to see men naked. This is how y'all be looking. And they got two pictures of Hank Hill. If you've never seen the diminished gluteal syndrome, Hank Hill, King of the Hill episode, you need to see that. That shit is funny. King of the Hill is a good show for anybody who watches cartoons. But listen, when it's time to body shame men, women come in and they just be having a good old time. Look at this right here. Chick is down talking to dude she's in a picture with. We're not going to read the caption. You could go back and pause it. But she down talked to dude that she's in a picture with and went viral for it. She got 3K laughs, 3,000 laughs about her dude's body. A woman couldn't take that. A woman couldn't take that. A chick would be so ready to break up with a dude or just not talking to a dude withholding sex if he had 3,000 comments talking negatively about her body, or 3,000 likes for talking negatively about her body. But listen, this chick right here highlights the point that I made, or the point that I'm making. It's just they booties little. Other than that, I do not judge, because as soon as they say something about us women naked, we cry. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So the one thing I want to touch on very quickly is the whole natural bodies thing, the natural body. Because I seen a lot of chicks saying, I thought men said they like natural bodies. I just paused that long because I was rolling my eyes, holding my forehead, trying to find the words. Because the only thing I could think is like, these chicks really can't be this fucking stupid. I've said it so many times on this channel. I just don't know. When women think natural bodies, they don't think what men think, when we think natural bodies. When women think natural bodies, they think of a whole bunch of cellulite. They think of sagging titties. They think of big, pudgy ass stomachs. They think of horribly built bodies and just being accepted no matter how horrible, how fat, how fucking unflattering your body is. That's what women think of when they think natural bodies. When you go around and you ask men, what do you like? What would you prefer, BBL or natural? And a bunch of niggas say natural. Niggas is not thinking of that Halle Bailey ass butt when they talking about they would rather have a natural chick. The distinction between the thing where women get lost is that it doesn't matter if it's a BBL. It doesn't matter if it's fix a flat ass injections. It doesn't matter if it's gym grown. It don't matter if motherfucking food built the ass. It don't matter if she was born with the ass. It really don't matter. It really don't matter. Men like fat butts. Men like round butts. I don't care if you don't even like fat butts. If you like butts, you like a nice round butt. It could be a muscle butt. It could be a bubble butt. Or it could be a big old fat stupid thumper. But niggas like asses with nice shapes, regardless of, and when I say niggas, I mean everybody likes an ass with a nice, even women like an ass with a nice shape. with a good circumference on it, right? And when it comes to certain demographics or certain men, there are certain guys. And again, the era we in now, the way porn has trained people's brains, like you got all these porn sites that they like fat asses is in, and they just get these fat ass white girl, all this stuff. Men like big old asses. That's just what it is. So if the ass is plump, it's nice, it's round, it's juicy, like we can't go in public and tell if a chick has a BBL or not unless it's like wildly obvious. But if it's a fat ass and it's natural or it's BBL and it's like it's in proportion, we're gonna be cool. Like we like that. That's what we like. If the ass got some cellulite on it, that's cool too. Like we not tripping on that. That's what niggas when they say they like natural. If it's a fat ass with some fucking cellulite, we don't really care much that the cellulite is there. What natural doesn't mean is that we are searching out bitches with no ass. What natural doesn't mean is that we are searching out chicks that are built like SpongeBob SquarePants. What natural doesn't mean is we are looking for chicks with, big old fat butts, but they got the gut is bigger than the butt. Like that's not what it is, bro. Like most people listening to this are old enough to remember before Buffy the Body even came in the game. Just like this ass shot injection shit was not a thing. It just wasn't a thing in the 90s and early to, late 2000s. I won't say the whole 2000s really. Like that wasn't really, unless you was in like Atlanta and they just start like, then probably it's some like mid to late 2000s shit where the ass injection started going crazy if you're in a market like that. But bro, I went to school. I remember growing up, like, bro, like in 5th grade when I actually like, got into butt, like, and I'm taking y'all way back, like, nigga, it was chicks throughout school, and even to this day, they got fat natural asses. So that's what the fuck we talking about when we talk about natural. Like, that shit is stupid. I said I was gonna be brief on that, but that's it. Like, you get it. Now, this is the thing. We as men, we run around, we talk about BBLs all the time, right? We make jokes or we may talk about women's bodies all the time. And the reaction that I'm seeing, it's not a typical reaction. The thing is, we're attracted to women's bodies and we're attracted to what we're attracted to. So we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And I've already mentioned in the video, women have the things that they are physically attracted to. And they're going to talk about what they're going to talk about. And they're going to down talk what they're going to down talk. But we can take all that on the chin and don't get upset and run around the fucking internet like, oh man, they saying Jacquees is small. Oh my goodness. Da-da-da-da-da. And listen, if you got headphones in, I just want you to know that beat was not a fucking smoke detector, man. And you won't hear that shit again. I don't know where I was at and I don't care. I'm gonna just pick up here because that shit, if you heard that shit in the background, it really just blew my shit. But this is one of the reasons why chicks are doing this. You have to look at the whole Halle DDG thing, right? The whole thing to where what she represents. She represents bitter baby moms, right? So let's just start there. Because that's, if, let's not start there. Let's go all the way back. She's a Disney chick, right? So she's black and she gets selected for Little Mermaid. She's a woman, so black women specifically like her because of that. Because she's an actor that gets to play the Disney princess. Now, they're not head over heels for that. That's not something they idolize and give that much of a fuck about, but it's something to like, ooh, clock it, sis, T. That's they like that. And so she's shade room material, right? She then gets a relationship. The relationship makes her more shade room worthy, right? Nobody really has a problem with DDG while they're having this relationship, but this makes Halle more likable to the women. When they break up, DDG is going through some shit, and he takes it to the internet. One of the things that he said that just awoke the sleeping dragon bitches, and now they have a villain to the story, right? He said, "I've been trying to protect your image," when he couldn't see his son, right? So he broke up with her. They didn't like to break up. They didn't like certain stuff that was happening. But when he said that, it's like, oh, he been plotting to. So now they have a villain. So this is the part, in my opinion, where women begin to put themselves in Halle's shoes. They begin to identify with her. They are now Halle. Because if you know anything about women, it's that they love putting themselves in celebrity women's shoes. Mentally, they just cannot separate, okay, this is somebody else. This is not me in my situation. But it's not just them putting themselves in celebrity shoes. It's something that I've said a lot on this channel. They love to do two things. Number one, play the victim and identify with victims. Those two things. And we could put an air quote over victims, because there is no real victim except DDG when we talk about what's going on. Women will say, oh, but he beat her up. He chipped her too. Listen, DDG was so confused because he got told that shit when he was on stream and he seen the chicks chip too. The internet found receipts of DDG, the time frame that she said it happened. DDG was like overseas or some shit. And they showed that she was some footage of her going to get her, chip tooth fixed. And she said some shit about where she was going to get it fixed at. So there were a lot of receipts to clean up the side of DDG being bad. But this is the thing that I'm going to keep it a bean on. There's supposed to be ring camera footage of him wilding out. See, this is the thing. Like, when it comes to the women's side, they not going to keep it real. Halle is an angel. Everything is good. Like, listen. I don't know. Like, we're never going to see that ring camera footage of DDG wilding out. I guess he was beating up the car. I can't remember. But, if the ring footage comes out, he's going to look bad. And the thing is, I thought I would have thought that shit would have came out by now, honestly. Because this woman is very bitter the way she is holding his child from him, right? So we'll get to that in a moment. But so now it goes from this Disney shit that they are barely interested in, they're bored by, to a relationship that they are somewhat invested in, but it's just a healthy relationship with a child. Like, that's cool, It's something we don't really identify with as far as a lot of these chicks, because they create a lot of fucking broken homes and don't be having husbands and shit, but we'll just keep it moving. So when we get past that, once we get to this part, as far as DDG being a villain, that is where, and Halle begins to complain, like, why did you have my son on string? This is where we have a villain. This is where we have a villain. Now women have somebody to hate. And they don't even really love Halle, but now it's like, okay, now we could put ourselves in her shoes. Now we could really identify with. Now we could say that she's a victim. Now we could blah, blah, blah. So that's when it picks up for Halle and just women fucking with Halle, right? Where it goes after that, it's kind of crazy. When she begins to have this custody battle and begins to withhold the baby from DDG, this is when women get to shine. This is when they get to shine the hardest. This is when they get to go against all the men and all the other rational women who are not invested in this shit. And they get to say dumb shit like, oh, he's trying to exploit his baby. They get to say stupid shit like that. They get to say very nonsensical things to justify the bitter baby mom tactics enforced by family court. Why? Because, again, This is a whole nother layer. This is an epic layer that a lot of these concubine ass bitches identify with. So I painted a picture for you, and there's probably more ways that they identify with her. But when you look at that, that sets the premise for all of this. This is not just a regular chick, right? This is a chick who they are invested in over the course of months. When you look at, because I mentioned the celebrity shit, right? When you look at Aisha Curry and her saying, "Oh man, I'm upset that Steph be getting, you know, a lot of female attention, but no men ever come and approach me or look at me or da 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 da, and I want that." Women all understood. They got behind da 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 da, blah blah blah. They all got behind her, and we could point to a bunch of other situations. Keke Palmer having a husband, right, or baby dad, whatever the case was, and flirting with Usher at the show. Women came to her defense in droves. So certain things, women begin to put themselves in chicks' shoes and defend women doing bad shit. That's one thing that I left out. These women, as far as a lot of women, modern women, however you want to put it, they feel the need to step up to the plate and defend some of the most immoral shit that they can. And it's truly astonishing. The difference between men and women is when a dude is doing something that is clearly bad, most of us are going to agree, nah, that's not it. We're not going to jump behind that shit. We're not going to support it. We can admit that it's bad. When Diddy beat up Cassie, no niggas ever, nowhere said, bruh, ain't no nigga, well, what was she saying? Shit, we don't know what she was doing before that camera cut on, before they got around that. Like, ain't no nigga nowhere saying that shit, bro. And even if it is, man, that is a severe minority, bro. When Tory Lanez, when the news came out that Tory Lanez shot Megan, most niggas, and I gotta be honest, me to some degree as well. When you hear information like that, it's like, bruh, that's so heinous that you can't really fucking rock with. Like, it's like, bruh, you should. And this is before any evidence came out, before we seen her foot, I'm like, damn, nigga, you shot this shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wasn't too many niggas saying, yo, we gotta wait for the evidence, da 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 da, blah blah. Man, we just jumped straight on it, and guess what? The whole rap game was in fuck Tory Lanez mode as far as a dude. So we don't really get behind fuckery, right? You know, when it comes to the whole Meg the Stallion shit, we're at a point where there's so much evidence against her, and she's admitted that she was lying about smashing this nigga. We just know she's a bad person at this point. So that's a whole different thing. But listen, when it comes to the things that I mentioned, women love to defend some of the worst behavior from women. That's just what it is. But I want to get to the next point of why this is happening, right? So all of those women that I mentioned, you know, in all of those situations, the only situation bigger than the Halle shit that women are probably more invested in, they are more invested in the Cassie situation, right? And they're more invested in the Meg Thee Stallion situation. But when it comes to Halle Bailey, there's still a high level of investment from the shade room, the neighborhood watching ass bitches. So this is the last thing. This is the last layer. Being that they identify with this chick so much in so many ways, right? When her body gets shamed, women take it as a personal attack. Women take it as a personal attack. You've seen the comments that I put up. They will come for men personally, talking about their body, trying to roast them, trying to say stuff about individual men who say something about this celebrity woman that wouldn't spit on some of these bitches if they was on fire, that wouldn't lend them $20 if they was homeless, right? But these chicks will go to bat for this chick and put they fucking They on a line, because if a nigga really roast back and get under they fucking skin, they day is gonna be fucked, because we way better at that shit than they are. But they personalize that shit so much, and it hurts them deeply. And the thing that is crazy is, it's like, you don't even look at the opinion, like, you don't even look at these guys saying this stuff as important people. These are not important people to you, and they're saying this about somebody that you don't fucking know, but you still personalize it. You still personalize it. You still feel the pain. Like a nigga said, Taquisha, you are a flat booty bitch. And Taquisha, this is the craziest part, right? Because I told you, I done seen chicks that I know is bad as fuck come out and say something, blah, 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 women's bodies, all this shit. Even a bad chick who has no kids will identify with this shit. And it's weird to me. It's like, you got a big old stupid, but this is the thing. This is the key thing when it comes to that, right? Because some of the chicks identify with it because, oh, they've been pregnant and they went through the body fluctuation and stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Then you got some chicks who are just built like a school lunch lady, and they identify with it and stuff like that. But when you get to the bad bitches, it's like, it's a disconnect. How do you, especially if you don't got kids, how does this connect with you? This is the thing, man. It doesn't connect in a sense to where they look at themselves and say, oh, my body is fucked up, and he's talking about me. It connects on a level that I already mentioned, which was, they identify with this woman so much that they are putting themselves in her shoes, to where if you say something about the chick, they take it personal, like it's about them. They don't have to actually have that going on. But this is the bigger point. When it comes to women's self-esteem and their ego, let's take a moment and define what the ego is, because people really don't understand what the ego is. The ego is your consciousness. Your ego is that voice in your head. Your ego is your self-esteem and your self-importance, your self-value, all of that stuff. That's what your ego actually is. So people like to throw around the word ego like it's a negative thing. It's a neutral thing. It's actually your identity, your mental identity. This is the thing about that as far as your ego, right? I've mentioned in other videos, and you already know this, like when it comes to a man's self-worth and stuff like that, you got to build yourself up, blah, 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 blah. Women have inherent value. We all know that. Where does that value come from? That value comes from their sexuality and femininity and the desire that men have to experience their sexuality and their femininity. That's where the value comes. If we didn't value it, it wouldn't be valuable. But nature makes us value it. So it's not something that we could just collectively say, oh, just shut it off. No, it's there and it's going to be there. You could have 18 sons. It's going to be there for all of them. So the thing is, that is attached to male validation, right? We as men, we do like female validation, but remember, I could go through the whole shit, but like, we have to build our value up as men. So let's say you are a let's just take an NBA player, right? They get their self-value and stuff like that. As far as they get it from the exercising and training that they do to become a good basketball player. The results, as far as them actually being good at basketball, where it has taken them, whether they're overseas or they got an NBA contract and they've made millions, and also just the validation that they get from society from being a good basketball player and being highly skilled at that craft. Oh, and then bitches come after that as far as the validation from women, right? When it comes to the shit that I just mentioned, as far as a woman's sexuality and stuff, like, just want to keep it so real with you. And I don't care how fucked up it sounds. There's no substance to that. There's no your value is attached to something to where there's not much substance to it. And you don't really have a desire. You don't have an inherent desire, as far as most women, to go and make something of yourselves like men do. Because you have that value. You have that. Now, I'm not saying that no women have, desires to go and make something of themselves or nothing like that. I'm saying that this is the default mode that I'm talking about. This is how most women are. So this is a big piece of where your value comes from, your self-image and all of this shit, right? And I want to mention this very quickly before I get into this. Somebody said something on my Women Aren't Funny video the other day that was very interesting that I don't know if I knew before. I can't say, but they said it was very interesting, so I'm going to repeat it. But they said, men have the ability to self-deprecate. Most women don't. Some do. But even if you type in self-deprecating women, you're going to see a bunch of videos of black women specifically telling women to not self-deprecate. You're going to see some white women in the mix, but when I went and searched it, it was like 3-4 black women first, like, no, stop doing that. Don't do that, blah, blah. We could do that and still be cool and still have a high self-esteem. Like, women are not really capable of doing that because their egos are more fragile when it comes to, the things that I've already mentioned. So when we get to that, the whole point that I'm making is when you attack a woman's femininity or sexuality, like that, it just because you're attacking it, that doesn't mean that it's going to hit. But if they actually believe it, if they even are upset at the audacity of it, that shit can be earth-shattering to them. So if they believe there's validity to it, or they're just mad at the audacity, like, that could really fuck them up. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to get too specific. I seen a bad bitch. Like if I showed you this bitch, bro, this bitch is bad. Somebody said something negative about her. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but I'm going to make something up, man. They said the bitch had a mustache, right? We just going to say that. This chick, as bad as she is, as much validation as she gets, she does not have a mustache. She doesn't. But for whatever reason, some random guy saying that to her, it made her go ballistic. She said she was going to kill the nigga because he said that she had a mustache that she didn't have. Now, this is a hypothetical, just so you know. Like, because I can't say the specifics. But bruh, I'm telling you, this chick is so fucking bad. I know the inbox is going absolutely ridiculous every day. I know that anytime she posts, it's 5 messages would be an understatement. But that's just me being generous. 5 messages per fucking post. I guarantee you she's getting anywhere from 15 to 45 messages per day. And all of them are validation and I'm trying to get on with you, what's up, all of that shit, right? But just one guy gets through the cracks saying that she got a mustache, and all of that validation that she was getting goes out the fucking window and she loses her shit. She wants to kill the nigga. How the fuck does that happen? It goes back to what I said. When that is the center of a lot of chicks' ego. And if you tamper with that, or if somebody tampers with that, it'll be very, very upsetting to them. It can actually make some of them go nuclear. So that's why this is so deep, because when you look at a lot of these chicks' whole self-esteem is built on the shoulders of their sexuality and their femininity. So even though This bad bitch, and not the one that I was just talking about, but this, when we talk about Halle Bailey, I've seen bad bitches, upset about people talking about Halle Bailey's butt, even though these bitches are bad, right? And they don't have a flat butt. They have a nice, round, perfect circumference ass. They got a small waist, all this shit. They look really good in the face. But seeing Halle, get fucking ridiculed or seeing her get made fun of for her butt, right? It upsets them so much that even they lash out. It's because of everything that I already mentioned. And just to condense it, they identify with this woman so much that they putting themselves in her shoes and they feel like it was said about them. So they feel the pain that they think Halle would feel. And it's causing them to act. Let me just say, bruh, there is no male celebrity that could make me fucking tweak because of how they're under attack and start attacking chicks personally or nothing like that. Like, I seen what happened to Kevin Samuels. And I wasn't ready to go and just start getting under bitches' comments and going crazy or nothing like that. I'm like, oh, this is just who y'all are. Y'all just evil hoes. Okay, it is what it is. I'll tell you one thing before I get off. The one thing that has really fucked me up in the past, a week, is this T-Mac shit, right? Because I debated with one of y'all on one of my previous videos. Like, I'm a big T-Mac fan, right? And T-Mac made the mistake, because what he said was real. He made the mistake of mentioning Kobe. And he said, if I was on that team with Shaq, you don't think I would have a ring? He would. He would. But when he said that, everybody wanted to get on him. And I'm not going to lie, watching the debates, having the debates with people, that has upset me a bit. And it doesn't upset me because I identify with McGrady and I'm putting myself in his shoes. It's none of that. It's because I was watching basketball when he was playing, and when he was playing for the Magic, my favorite squad. They had a really horrible season. Nobody ever talks about that season. But he was a scoring champion 2 times. 2 times. And there was no Tracy McGrady slander in 02, in 03. Live when this shit was going on, there was no McGrady slander. Then once he gets to the Spurs, once his career winds down, once he retires, now it's all this, oh, you never made it out the first round shit. And they try to diminish his whole legacy by cutting it down. And I know we just going real left field. And I'm not going to drag it because I know y'all not here for basketball talk. I know that. But to put it simply, which I'm not going to get into no details because niggas been having these debates for like a week or two, right? So you could go and find somebody else to debate with, or you could find somebody else's video. But number one, I don't think that that's a good argument. If it was a solid argument, I wouldn't have no gripe with it. It wouldn't make me upset that niggas were saying it because it would just flat out be the truth. But the issue with this narrative is it's a similar issue that I have when it comes to the whole like LeBron ring shit. Like one of them rings when this nigga like lost to like Golden State, he didn't have, like, matter of fact, 2 of those joints actually. He didn't have adequate help. He didn't have the help, bro. He didn't have the help as far as LeBron in some of those rings that he got, or some of those rings or finals that he lost on. So he didn't have the help. One finals, Kyrie and Kevin Love was injured. The other finals, Kyrie was fucking gone, and you got fucking smoked out J.R. Smith fucking up that game one, which really fucked them all the way over, right? And I don't want to go too deep on LeBron because that's not who this is about, but T-Mac never had adequate help. People try to say Yao Ming, man. Yao Ming was fucking injury prone. If you look at when he was on the Magic, he had Grant Hill, and Grant Hill got injured as soon as he fucking came over, so they never had a healthy season together, and Grant Hill was a fucking dog. In that Mavs series, he didn't have nobody, bruh. He didn't have nobody, and he still balled out. So that's the first thing. But the second thing that really pisses me off when it comes to McGrady, and this is like, again, it has nothing to me doing with identifying with him or anything like that. It's that people underestimate his skill. What I was arguing about in the comments with somebody the other day was him being better than Paul George. Somebody tried to say Paul George is better. What fucking type of Sherm is niggas smoking? What type of Sherm is niggas smoking? This nigga. Hey, listen, I'm getting too deep with the basketball shit, but listen, back to there's really nothing celebrity wise that can really upset me the way that these chicks is upset. And even if we look at the McGrady shit that I just mentioned, I'm not calling people names. I'm not doing that gay shit that niggas do, like, oh, nigga, I played basketball and you didn't make the team, so you got, nigga, I know more than you because I averaged 2 points on it. Like, no. Not being condescending to nobody, even though I said, this dude smoking Sherm, because that's a crazy, like, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy to me, but we done for the day, man. I know I dragged this out, bro.